brand, do what other people do that are successful until you figure it out yourself. What is that term? If you fake it until you make it, that's kind of like Scentsy. Fake it until you make it. And the cool thing is that you're not alone as long as you ask for help. You will never be alone as long as you ask for help. We are here to help you. So, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. I have so much stuff here. So when you first start, and then my other big obstacle when I joined was, I know so many Scentsy people, like, I'm gonna have no customers. And me and Michelle were friends. We had a lot of like the same friends, like how people were buying from her. What, who's gonna buy from me was my big mindset thing. And so I learned that when you first join, your family and friends are gonna be your go-to. And then that's called your like warm market. So you're gonna talk to the people that you know, and you're gonna be excited. Oh my God, look what I just did. I just joined Scentsy. What did I do? Help me figure this out. Let's do this together. And then you can pull out a catalog and you can look through everything, smell the testers, and get them excited, because Scentsy really does the work for you. You just have to make that first step to speak that you're a Scentsy consultant, to really get out there. And if they say no, then they say no. It's not the end of the world. The really cool, one of the things that I do is I collect no's. And the reason why I started collecting no's was because no scared me. Like it made me feel yucky. I took it personally, like, oh, you don't want to, but I need your help. You don't want to buy from me. Like it just made me feel yucky. So when I started collecting no's, it taught me to not be attached to that outcome. I did my job of asking people to buy, or not necessarily buy, but sharing Scentsy, and oh my God, I just brain farted. I'm so sorry. I'm so scatterbrained right now.
You're doing awesome, Melissa.
I'm sorry. I'm so scatterbrained right now. Okay, so friends and family. So then that being said, your business is not going to thrive on the sales of just your friends and family. So at some point, you're going to have to learn how to break outside of that. And Scentsy does a really good job of teaching us how to do that. I didn't learn how to do it by myself. I had Scentsy, and I had Jess, and I had Michelle, and all the leaders around us. And I learned what they did by training. Training is very important too. So it's kind of like Jess said, you should be on training calls. Whether it's this call or like in Group Make It Happen, Callie does a lot of things in our training center. There's a lot of great stuff. So whatever it is that you want to do, go look for it. It's out there. It's in YouTube. It's on Pinterest. It's everywhere. Like Scentsy people are so generous with their information. It's just the only reason why you can't find it is because you're not looking. And if you need help, then we can help you guide you in the right place. And so in regards to your friends and family, after they buy from you, you need to then follow up. How are you liking your stuff? Because you just got your people loving this amazing product, and we can't just leave them high and dry now, because we are their link between Scentsy, the product, and we are the link between them and the product. So we're not in stores. We don't have commercials. We're not allowed to sell on Amazon. We're not allowed to sell on MySpace. Wow, I just dated myself. eBay and Facebook Marketplace. Like people cannot sell in those places. So you are their link to the product. And it's our job to just be like, hey, did you like your stuff? And if they said no, then we troubleshoot through that. And then that gives us cred for having good customer service. And then eventually, if they're not ready, then you move on to the next person. And if you only have 4 people, then you start asking them, hey, you loved that warmer and that blueberry cheesecake bar so much. Do you know anybody else that might like it too? And then that's how you're going to kind of grow outside of like your family and friends, is by asking for referrals. People buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And if they don't know you or like you or trust you, then you have to do whatever you can to be one of those 3 things to them. And whether that's through training or whether that's just through being a friend. And a lot of what we do is planting seeds. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is not a Ponzi scheme. And it takes work and dedication and consistency and a good mindset. So with that, I also have a follow-up system. If you don't know what that is, basically, when you sell the product to somebody, you need to then reach out to them. I have kind of played with the 2-2-2, which means 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. I've played with the 1-1-3, which is the 1 week, 1 month, 3 months. I kind of adopted my own and I do a 2-1-1, which is 2 days, 1 week, 1 month. And then I follow up almost every month after that. Not necessarily to be like, do you need Scentsy? Do you want Scentsy? But like to keep me on the front of their mind, because I am my own commercial. I am my own representative for this product. And I don't have to always say, hey, I'm your, this is Melissa, your Scentsy consultant. Do you need any Scentsy? Like Scentsy, Scentsy, Scentsy. I can just be like, hey, how you doing? Because she's going to remember that she bought the warmer from me, that she bought the bar, that I helped her with the customer service. So she's going to remember that I'm Scentsy. And so following up with people doesn't always mean that yucky part of like sale, 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 sale. It's just, it's creating that relationship because we're in the relationship business. And so then I wrote here, this is a job, meaning like it's like Target people wear their Target shirts and they're branded. So we need to be branded too. I have my my button here that I wear. I have a Scentsy jacket. My car threw up Scentsy. I think it's important to be branded because Scentsy is one of those things where a lot of people join Scentsy just to accomplish temporary goals, whether it's to make mortgage payments, car payments, finish school, until they find another job, and then they leave. So they get all their people liking Scentsy and then they take off and they leave all these people high and dry. So that's where we come in with our branding. You know, we have our car branded, we have our Scentsy shirt on, we have our hats. People remember Scentsy because it's amazing. And if their Scentsy person fell off, you could be their next Scentsy person. So you just need to be branded. And we are our own commercials. Let's see. So selling versus sharing, I wrote. If one of the things that is really important is that I think you need to be using the product. If you're not using the product, find something and use it. Because if you're not using the product, you can't share it. You're going to be selling it at that point. You're going to be spitting out statistics, spitting out what the catalog is, and it's not going to be genuinely you. But if you tried something and you loved it, like, oh my gosh, like my buddy clip, I put these on my Taekwondo bag. Like, I love this thing because in Taekwondo world, all the Taekwondo bags look the same. And when I have my little Nemo there, like, I know that's my bag. And it opens up to people walk over the bag and they're like, what is that? It doesn't smell like feet. You know, oh, that's my Nemo. And that's how I'm sharing. Like, oh, that's my Nemo. It's a Scentsy, it's a buddy clip. You know, like smell his butt. There's a little scent pack in there and he smells like this. And that is like how you share Scentsy. You're not saying, would you like to buy one? It is, you know, XYZ. I mean, that comes up, but it's learning how to share versus selling. So if you're using the product and you have the product, it's much easier to sell than it's much easier to share than sell is what I'm trying to say. It's easier than selling because you're just talking about something that you love. And if you've tried Scentsy and you don't like it, then don't share it. You don't have to share something you don't like. Find something else because Scentsy has something for everybody. We have a kids line, we have cleaning, we have laundry, we have body products, we have stuff for men, we have stuff for animals. So I think that it's just really important to like get to know your product, and you're not going to know it overnight. Just share what you like. Share what you like. Let's see here. I wrote here, so I wrote always ask. I used to be, I think I'm going to go into that in a minute. Okay, so where I'm at now, so this might be a tip for somebody who feels like I don't have enough time to do everything. This is overwhelming. What do I do? And this word might be a bad word, systems, but I think that the way to look at it is to really see them more as, what did I write down? I wrote down, there was a word that I wrote down. I'm sorry. It sounds, it's not systems, but like cheats for yourself. So if I know that every order that every time somebody orders from me, I put in a business card, a sample, a wax sample, a thank you card, a scent of the month flyer, a catalog, or whatever. If I have to make that every single time somebody places an order for me, like I'm going to go crazy. There's no way that I can do all of that. So I designate one day of the month, sometimes multiple, depending on if I run out, and I just make these little packs. So these are the packs that I put in people's orders, and they are the packs that I mail out to people. So every time somebody gives me an order, I thank them for it because I'm appreciative. People like them are what makes my business run. And so I'll just show you really quick what I put inside of my thank you orders, because that was something that I think I bugged Michelle about a lot. Like, how do you do that? What do you do? And so like I said at the beginning, I copy, like I don't have to reinvent the wheel. And so I copy what Michelle did. And so for me, everybody's different. If it's something, so when I make, like I have samples here. This is Blue Grotto and this is Cocoa Lime. I have several bags of pre-made samples that I made at the beginning of the month. I probably have, I don't know, maybe 100 samples made. And that puts me in the right mindset. So when I feel yucky, like, oh, I'm not getting any sales, I'm not moving anywhere, I immediately start making samples, because that's kind of my place to ground myself, to remember, like, because you get to smell the stuff. And that's one of the reasons why I joined. It smells amazing. Like, you can't not be happy smelling Blue Grotto. Like, you just can't. Or Cocoa Lime, like that reminds me of margaritas, like yum. So in my packs, I have samples always made. I buy these samples here from the Success store. I have my business card. I have a thank you card that I just printed out some stickers here, and then I use a rub and sniff sticker, and it's just my family. So it's all of the things that we did that Scentsy has paid for. We've gone to Golden Knights games. We went to Great Wolf Lodge, Taekwondo. Scentsy pays for Taekwondo for me. So in one of the trainings that Jessie had another guest speaker, her name was Catherine Gibson. I was like stressed out because it took me forever to write up my thank you cards. Like every card was different and unique, and that was great, but it was taking me like an hour to write 4 or 5 thank you cards. And that is not cool, especially when you're busy. So she told me to get a postcard. I made this. And on the back of it, I just write, Jess, thank you for supporting our family business. Love, the Henning family. And I do that with everybody. And I do the same for everybody. So I put in there my samples. So I do wax samples because not everybody has wax, especially with people that I'm mailing stuff to. Like if they want a catalog, I'm not sure if they have a warmer. Sometimes I'll put wax in there, but I always put a non-wax sample in there just in case you don't have a warmer. And then I have the scent of the month flyer. This one's old. I always put the join host buy flyer in there. It's like $3 for 50 of them. I put in a catalog if they do not have a catalog, and I write down, oh, I don't know what happened to my book. I have a book that I write, oh, here it is. I have this book. I recently started this. This is my system because I found that I was giving samples to people, and then they would come to me like 6 months later and say, I loved that blue sample you gave me. Can I order one? And I'm like, blue sample? Like, oh my gosh, I've made, like all these different blue samples. Which one is it? I don't know. What did it smell like? I don't know. It was amazing. So I started writing things down. And so I write down, everybody has a different system. So I just kind of write down everything that I mail to. And at first I thought, oh, I'm not going to like this, but now I love it because I can look back and say, oh, okay. Crystal, I gave her X, Y, and Z. And so now I can give her new samples with her next order. And I also write in there whether or not I've given them a catalog, so that I don't give them another catalog unless they specifically ask for it, because our catalogs are expensive and they have these amazing product sheets. So, if they already have a catalog, they already have my website, then a product sheet is perfectly great. And I put them in all of my orders with people that I don't have, that I've already given a catalog to. The other thing that I've been doing recently, and I love, are it's this new release sticker sheet that Scentsy has in the work center. You can get 72 rub and sniff stickers for $3 and of one fragrance. And I love it because to buy all these bars to make all these samples is expensive. And I personally can't afford that. There are people that can, but when you like scratch it, like it smells like mahalo coconut. It's awesome. And so my tip for this is don't fold it inside because the stickers will rub on each other. So I put these inside of my catalog in the new release section, or I put it with my product sheet. And then recently I started putting, which actually had a pretty cool return. I started putting in a frequently asked questions about joining Scentsy and a top 10 reasons to join Scentsy. And I've had a few people join my team in the last month. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I think that when people don't want to ask about it, and a lot of times people don't want to ask about it, this is kind of an indirect way of talking to them about it. And it's super easy to read. It just says top 10 reasons to join. And I just printed that right out on the workstation. So this is my pack that I send out in my Happy Mail. And then I also put in a gift. So one of my teamies said that I should probably talk about like how I gift, what I gift, how much I gift, and so on and so forth. So first, the gifts that I have, I'm getting from Hostess Rewards. I don't spend full price on any of the things that I'm giving away because I just can't afford that. Our flash sales are amazing. So if you haven't experienced one yet, they are so awesome for your business. You can buy scent circles for like 90 cents. And those scent circles can be thank you gifts. It's not about what you're giving, but it's the intention behind it that people really appreciate. Like, oh, I didn't order this and she gave it to me anyway. Like people think it's really thoughtful. And so I put in a scent circle for orders like under the price of $50, and then over $50, I'll put in like a car bar or maybe a wax bar. And I write all these things down so I know what I gave to who and so on and so forth. And if somebody orders from me multiple times in a month, then maybe I'll upgrade their thank you gift. But I'm not giving away warmers and bricks and, things like that. You can, if you really wanted to, but I can't afford that. Let's see. So going back to like my logs, these are my systems. I'm still talking about the systems that work for me. What I write down in this is kind of like my order log. I write down their name. I write down the date that they ordered on. I write down the date that I mailed or delivered their stuff, and then what I put in there so that I can reference it back. And this has taken so much stress off of my brain, remembering, did I mail that? Did I send her something? Did I thank her? Like, that is stressful when you're laying there and like at bed, like when you have not a bad day, but when you just have a busy day and you're wondering if you did everything, like those little things will creep in your head. And so I love this because I can see that it's blank. Nope, I didn't send Jennifer. I didn't send her stuff yet. And it's because she just ordered it. So like it's all right there. I don't have to go into the workstation and log. And I love that. The other thing that I keep track of is my miles, because I do not a lot of driving, but I deliver my orders. That's something that I choose to do. So I write down my miles. It's a tax deduction. And then the things that you're putting in this book, or the things that I put in this book, the samples that I'm making, the samples that I'm buying, like my printer ink, all the stickers, all of that's a tax deduction also. So I have a mileage log here. It just says be brave, because I want to remind myself, like, be brave when I'm out there, because sometimes I'm not. And what I do for my mileage log is I just it's super chicken scratchy, is I just write down the date, who I'm driving it to, and then my tax lady said, write starting miles and ending miles, and then how many your miles are. There are apps for that. I'm not consistent enough with my apps, and I kind of feel weird about having an app stalk me, like know where I'm going. I just don't like that. So I write everything down. And that's another system that I do. It's I've made it habit, and I do it all the time now. What else? With all of these things, practice makes perfect. So if you are talking to people and you find that you stumble over your words and you didn't like how you felt about it, do it again. It feels uncomfortable, but guess what? You're not going to be uncomfortable every single time you do it, because practice makes perfect, and you'll eventually figure out the wording that you want to say. So don't stop when you feel uncomfortable. That just means that it's time to move forward, and baby steps will grow your comfort zone. You don't have to make these huge leaps out of your comfort zone. little tiny things, like when you're talking, like if you find that you're a very shy person, but you want to talk to people more, you want to recruit more, you want more sales, join a Facebook group, join, like I'm in a Vegas Golden Knights girl group. And I don't talk about Scentsy in there, but they have a business thing every once in a while that I get to like plug in my business. And I know that if anything ever comes up, I talk to people. So practice makes perfect. Doing it do things that are replicatable and like go outside of your comfort zone. Do what makes you uncomfortable. I learned that from a book called The Dream Giver from Bruce Wilkinson. I love that book. Becca Levi mentioned it, and I read it, and it's a great book if you're trying to figure out how to grow outside of your comfort zone. It was a quick read, and it's also an Audible. Your comfort zones will grow with you. Let's see. Don't reinvent the wheel. Scented catalog. So one of the things that I started recently doing, which has worked with my out-of-state people, I couldn't figure out how do I get my out-of-state people to smell stuff. Especially, we live in Vegas and everything melts. It's expensive to mail catalog, to mail a bunch of samples. So how do I combat that? I started making scented catalogs. This is not one, but I just put the stickers like right on the inside of the catalog. I cut them in half and I just stick it right over. And I love that. I've had several people in Florida that were able to purchase from me because they were able to smell like 25 different scents just in one catalog. And some of the scents of the months that we have come back. So that's pretty cool. What else? How do I mail? I mail things in this. So this is just like a poly mailer. I mail flat things in this, and then if like the packet that I made here, I mail that in this. So, and I use pirateship.com to type in the information, and it's like a discounted service through the USPS. So most of the things when I mail this out with a catalog, it costs me $3.21, and that is a tax deduction, or it's a tax write-off. So that's how I mail my stuff. Let me see what else. Follow-up system. Don't be afraid to ask. That's a big one. I know, and sometimes it's just trying to find the right way to insert yourself into a conversation. Active listening is really big, especially if you're trying to grow a team, because there are so many reasons to join Scentsy, which kind of brings me to joy is comparison is a thief of joy. Don't compare yourself to what other people are doing. If you're seeing some of the things that I'm doing and it's making you feel uncomfortable, you don't have to do it. Your why is probably different than my why. I used to work at Mountain View Hospital. It's a local hospital, and they laid off all of their VSP, their agency, and their travelers were just too expensive. And so recently I got laid off, and Scentsy has been a huge blessing in that. And so my why is different now. I'm motivated because I need to replace my income. Becca says, if you want to use Scentsy as like a full-time income, you need to triple what you make at your other job. That way, when we have our dipping months, like it's not going to hurt you. And so I am making about what I am at the hospital with Scentsy. And it just wasn't time for me yet, but it is what it is. And so I love Scentsy. That's why I feel so fortunate that Michelle shared this with me, 4 years ago, because it took me a year to join. I would not be here. I mean, like, she helped me 4 years into the future, and she, like, you just don't know. You have no idea the kind of blessings that you can give to people. I said, don't be emotionally attached. I talked about branding, knows, family and friends, follow up. So recruiting, one of the things that I have some systems for recruiting also. I talk to everybody, and all of my customers have heard me ask them at one point or another if they would join my team. Recently, I had a training with Jess, and I learned that for me to say, will you join my team, is not hard at all, but for me to explain what that means to people, like, that scares me. And so I have to do training to figure out how to like move outside of that comfort zone. So it's learning about the verbiage and understanding your compensation plan a little bit more. Wherever you are, if you're trying to grow, only look. I'm so sorry. I'm so scatterbrained. I find that like my thoughts are just one thought leads to another. And then I'm like, oh, that would be an important point. Know your compensation plan. If you are an essential consultant, know what comes next and know how to get there. My suggestion is to always know really well what it takes to become that next step, to earn that next title. If you look too far ahead, it's going to become really daunting, and that might make you feel yucky also. So if you're an essential consultant, you need to sell 1,000 PRV in order, whether it takes you 1 week, 1 month, or a year, to earn that title of certified, and it'll never get taken away from you. You'll earn that 25%, and you will always make that. And you need to be active once every 4 months. Then once you're certified, you need to learn. So then you're going to become a lead. That requires 1 active team member. That means that they have sold 200 in 1 month. And then your group, you need to learn what that is. I've learned how to calculate how to go from GWV to PRV. And so when I was a lead, I knew that $1,333.33 was exactly how much PRV I needed with my whole team in order to be paid a title as a lead or promote to a lead. Why is that important? Because we get leadership bonuses. And if we don't earn our leadership bonuses once we promote to leadership roles, that's just money that's wasted. Like it's money that's thrown away. And so learn your compensation plan, learn what it takes. Mostly all the leadership roles require that you sell 500 PRV. So if you're just starting out and 200, and you finally hit 200 and you've been able to do that for a few months, be consistent with your 200 every month, and then start trying to get to that 500 every month. And then if you need more money, then the cool thing is that we can say, if all I'm doing is sales, I can calculate, so I know that at 2,000, I'm going to get $600 just in sales at 2,000 a month, because I get that 5% raise. I start at 25%, and then you get that 5% bonus, and that will bring me in $600. So I know that. So if I can calculate that information, whether it's $1,000, $500, or 500 PRV, 1,000 PRV, or whatever, I can calculate how much I need, and then you can look at the compensation plan and kind of go from there. I hope this is making sense, and I'm not talking too fast, and I'm sorry, I'm like all over the place. And it's hot in here too. I'm like sticky. Let's see. Goals are good. Scentsy gives us goals when we first start off. So goals are good to have throughout your career, whether you start off as shooting star, you're 500. I do shooting star every single month. I always try to have my $500 in by the 15th day of the month. And I'm always able to do it before that. And then I always goal myself for $1,000 and $2,000. I remember when I joined, I was like, $2,000. Oh my gosh. And now I'm able to do it. I just hit 2,000 last month. And I think I did it 3 months before that. I think I hit 2,000 a month for 3 months in a row. And I was like, what? That's crazy. And it's just being consistent, talking to people, follow up. Once I feel stuck, then I start asking for referrals. And then I ask those referrals for referrals. You can continue to branch out, and you just have to not be scared. And if you are scared, then you just need to I can do this. I got this. That's why my team name, I always say in my videos that I'm the future director of team. Yes, I can, because it's not enough for me to say, yes, you can. You have to believe it for yourself. Yes, I can. I say that in every single one of my stupid YouTube videos, because A, I want to believe it. And 2, I want people to watch it, watching it to believe it also. And I can't remember why I said that. I'm sorry, squirrel.
How important it is to make goals.
Yeah. So I still don't know how that fit in there, but
I have a question.
I want to be a director.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be
for you.
Huh?
And
Go ahead.
You're on your way to become a director. I don't want to cut you off, but before you get away from it, you just shared something about referrals. Can you share what that means, and how would you get a referral, just for the new people that maybe have never done that before?
Well, sure.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Okay, so when I was just starting off and I was ready to like grow outside of my friends and family, I went to the people that said no to me, that they were not interested in buying, and it was scary. It was scary, but I got over it, and then I learned. I asked my sister-in-law. She was like, no. She was like, no, I don't want no, I don't want any of that. And so I asked her. She was the very first person that I asked a referral for. I said, hey, Julie, do you happen to know anybody that might like Scentsy? And she thought about it because she loves me. And she was like, yeah, I have a lady at work that has Glade plugins in her classroom. So I'll ask her. And so she became a referral. And we ended up having a little party. We sat around the kitchen table at my sister-in-law's house and we just smelled testers. And then when my sister-in-law saw how excited her friend was, and it kind of changed her mindset, like, oh, this isn't just Melissa and her crazy little stuff that she tries to do. Like, this is legit. Somebody that I know outside of my family likes it. So now my sister-in-law buys it. And so that's how I ask for referrals. Teachers are good people to ask for referrals because they know a lot of people. Like, so for asking for referrals is just asking people if they know somebody that, that brings me to the list of 100. I hated the list of 100 when I joined. When I heard the list of 100, I was like, no, I'm not going to write up a list of 100 and call them all. And wrong answer. That's not what you do with the list of 100. The list of 100 is, for me, psychological. It shows me that I know people because I just walked into this saying, I don't know anybody. And the cool thing about the list of 100 is that I can write down the lady at the grocery store that I see every week, the checker at the gas station. These are people that I see all the time. I might not know their name. So then my first goal might be to learn their name. And then the next time I see them, hey, George, how you doing? It might be kind of stinky in there. Yeah. Oh, it's hot. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, have a good day. Because I chickened out. Now I can't talk about it. So then the next time I go in, I bring them a sample. Well, I know it's kind of stinky and hot in there. So I brought you a sample to make your day a little bit better. So, and then you make sure you have your information on it. And that's kind of like how I grow outside of my like little areas. You just kind of learn how to talk to people and how, if you think about it as how can I bless people? How can I help people? It's not so much about you anymore, and helping them helps you. So it's kind of like help me to help you type situation. And so that's kind of how it is with referrals also, is asking for help. And the really cool thing when you're brand new is that you can use that as an excuse. I'm brand new and I have no idea what I'm doing. Can you smell these testers with me and tell me which ones like are great? And then that's kind of like kind of a sneak attack way of getting somebody to buy Scentsy, because once you get that fragrance into their nose, they're going to want it. And then when they find out, well, I don't want wax and warmers. Well, guess what? We've got a Scentsy Go, and we have the mini fan, and we have the fan diffusers, and we have room sprays, and we have hand soap, and we have body wash, and it just goes out and out and out from there. So we have something for everybody, and our Scentsy buddies too. Like, we have stuff for kids and pets, and so referrals. Squirrel brain again. I'm sorry. Yeah. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, you gave great examples. Thank you so much.
What else? Did I miss anything?
You said so much. You really covered a lot. I took some notes that I just want to like emphasize that I hope people really knows. Like when you started out with that smile therapy, I think that was so brilliant, because there's going to be times when we have bad days with Scentsy. Because it is a happy day. It's a happy fragrant product. But there are some people out there that aren't so nice sometimes. And so we have to kind of like be our biggest cheerleaders and kind of flip the switch and shift our mindsets pretty fast. And so the fact that you taught that how is great. And it's something you guys will probably use on a regular basis. I mean, for the most part, people are nice, but you might have a bad day, and it'll really be helpful. I love how you shared the tip that Catherine gave you about like a nice, cute little card that's your places you've been, with your family and all of that. And we have somebody popping on right now. Hold on. And then you're able to just do something really fast, because I think the most of us do have a lot going on and we don't have time to sit for, an hour just writing out things. So I'm glad you shared that as well. Let's see.
And that's a part of my systems. So
yeah. Oh, and a word that because I had a director once that hated the word systems. She would literally want to hang up on me when I talked about systems. She called them rituals. So whatever in your brain, that you want to call them, but Melissa's so right. Systems are so important because then you know you can have like a checklist of what you've gotten done and I love how you shared these are all little details that a lot of people don't really think about that need to happen, how you write down everything you do, because like I have like all these mailers to go out, and if I have people that do website orders, I send them a scent circle. And if I don't write down what scent, they can call me and say, oh, I love that scent circle you gave me. But if I don't know what scent it is, you know what I mean? I can't tell them all the other scents of products that it comes in or whatever. So I love that you shared that. And then, one thing I did want to share with everybody, because you talked about gifts for your customers, your hostesses, and we can only write off $25 per person a year. So you want to make sure you're tracking how much you're spending on these people. And Melissa shared how she would like put different things for different people. And so as she writes them down, she will have a log of all the products that she gave this one customer over the year. And if she's getting kind of close, she can kind of throw in just like an extra, like a few samples that kind of make up for a product or something. But that's important. So $25 per person a year you can write off. So you don't want to like waste it on them like a whole warmer that you spent yourself like full price. And I love how you shared how you got most of your stuff through hostess rewards, because that's a smart business owner. Like use what the company gives you as a tool in order to really spoil your clients, because that's what it's there for. And then the Grow Giver, the book you shared that Becca got you on, I just want to, because I want to be able to paste that book. Do you know what or is it the same author as the Go Giver?
It's called the Dream Giver. And
Dream Giver. See, I had it wrong.
And it's from Bruce Wilkinson.
Okay. Thank you. And I love how you shared your pirateship.com, because that's a really good tool, because I'm just learning about all this stuff myself. So what I'm going to do is, if anybody has any comments or questions for Melissa, what you could do, there's a little reactions thing at the bottom, since there's several of us on, so everybody isn't mute at the same time. If you want to raise your hand, you can, or even message, then you can, or just put your hand up. You just physically put your hand up, and then I'll unmute you so you can comment or ask some questions for Melissa. Okay, Rebecca. Oh, let's. Why is it not letting me? Oh, there we go. I just unmuted you. Oh wait, no, I didn't. There it is. Go ahead.
The question that I have is, right now I'm sitting at 183 PRV, and I'm wanting to get that shooting star award like really badly. Like I'm on fire for this. I'm very new. I signed up on the 1st. I want to go far in this, like crazy far. But the question that I have is, how do I word to people properly? Is it okay to say that you want help from people to get your PRV?
That you know, like, and love, or the people that love you, the people that are in your warm group right now, like your family and friends, like they love you and they want to see you do well. So it is okay to say, I have this huge goal and I have 6 days left and I am like almost halfway there. Can you help me? And if they can't, then you can ask them, do you know somebody else that might be able to help me? And so that's like a good segue into asking for referrals.
Okay.
Have you had a launch party yet?
I'm actually running my party right now. It ends on the 15th.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's great. It's online? Are you getting good engagement?
I am a little bit. I would like a little bit more. But I'm also getting samples out to people. So I'm definitely getting a lot, pretty good engagement with that alone. So I'm hoping it's going to be able to encourage other people to possibly purchase or something.
You should try sharing pictures in your group, in your group or your page, with things that you love, like pictures of you, because people will associate. Like,
I actually did that tonight.
Like,
I
look,
for I for the first time tried the Johnny Appleseed dish soap,
share that.
and
People would love to
yes,
hear about that.
I did, and
Uh-oh.
say
Did
it
I?
correctly, verbena. Anyway, I shared those on my Facebook and shared my story and how I felt about it, and I'm getting pretty good feedback with it.
That's awesome. Keep doing it. All I can suggest is don't give up. As soon as you hit a hard spot, figure out how to work around that and just keep going. Like, don't stop. We ride on the coattails of our momentum. So as soon as we stop, everything kind of dwindles out. And then we start to get that yucky feeling again. And, I think staying with it and being consistent and then seeing that we're seeing results, it keeps us motivated and it keeps our mindset positive. And then other people can say, I can do that too. And then you got people on your team before you know it.
Right. Thank you.
Congratulations. You're welcome.
Oh, hi. I didn't know that you were saying because you're still muted. So then I saw my microphone go off and I'm like, oh, that must be me. Hi, Melissa. I just wanted to jump on and say that, I love you. You are amazing. And I wanted to, my favorite thing that you said, excuse me, my favorite thing that you said was when you were talking about that a lot of the things that you do and a lot of the things that involve Scentsy is a skill that we build. We don't join and all of a sudden know how to, promote all the way to SSD or how to sponsor or do all those things. And looking at like little increments, that is so important. And I love that you pointed that out. And I also wanted to tell you that today, because of you, I actually signed up for Pirate Ship. So I had been talking about it forever. And so today it just popped up and I was like, oh yeah, Melissa said that was really good. So I signed up for it and I ordered all the things. So I just wanted to let you know that thank you for that. And I am so excited to hear all of the amazing stuff that you share with everybody tonight. So thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate you so much.
Oh, I appreciate you too. Thank you for having me join your cult.
Well, thank you for finally saying yes after a year.
Right.
Okay, anybody else have any questions or comments for Melissa? We're at the top of the hour, but if anybody else has anything to say, we can.
There was one tip that I wanted to give that I didn't give, and I think this will help people that are trying to recruit. My biggest thing right now that's working for me is the hostess kit. So I always put in $200 orders and I always end up with a hostess kit. And I ask everybody, for $59, would you be interested in joining Scentsy? You love Scentsy so much. You would be great at this because you are passionate about it. You're buying it a lot and you could earn, you can earn a commission off of your own orders. Would a $59 kit be interesting to you? And if they say no, then I ask them, well, especially right now, people are going through a really hard time. If you happen to know anybody that might be interested in a direct sales company, will you send them my way? And people say yes. And then people come and join and, you just have to ask. And so I give out these possibility packets. This is another system that I have. Inside, I have my story. I have top 10 reasons to join. I have what's in the starter kit. I also have the host exclusive kit, frequently asked questions, the compensation plan, and then the people, which is really cool. If you guys haven't seen this yet, this is pretty cool. And then I put in a catalog, a sample, and then I put in the shooting star and my business card. Whenever anybody asks me about the opportunity, they get one of these. And I do that consistently all the time. And then I follow up with them and ask them, hey, did you get a chance to read through it? And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I mean, I'm human, but that's what I do. And then when people, recently I started, I've always had like a welcome kit that I gave to people, but it was people that I gave in person. And recently with Pirate Ship, I started mailing them. So I have a welcome kit that I send people and it has my welcome letter, the Sensational Start packet. I put in I got it off of the biggest mistakes that new consultants make. I put in there the shooting star goal, and because some people are visual and they need to see, like, they want to color it in and like see. It's this Sensational Start chart. So it's like you can see all the way, like going up to the 70th date. This is the same thing, but it just looks different. It's called what will it be? 1, 2, or 3. I will reach Sensational Start level. And so on there it has all the different PRV and stuff like that. And then over here on the side it has like all the levels and how to reach that. I also have
yourself, Melissa?
Huh?
Did you make that yourself, that one?
No, I got this from Callie Petticord posted it in group Make It Happen.
Okay, I'll get it and I'll post it to our group page then. Thank you.
It's a checklist. So I think I searched for checklist and it popped up. I also put in here the 2-year plan, because that was when I think I first heard about that. I was like, what? Scentsy consultants can make what doctors and corporate CEOs make? Like, what? And so this has always been my goal, to do the 2-year plan. It's $2,000 a month and 2 recruits. And so anyway, I have a bunch of goodies that I just put in here to help people. I also add the people, because people need to know that they know people. So there's some things in here that I duplicate, but I also put in here, the 100 no's. And it's just the launch event checklist. So it's like you're brand new, you don't know where to go, you don't know where to start. This thing tells you, schedule your event, choose a date for your launch within 10 days when you join. And it explains everything, and it shows before, during, and after. So it's super helpful. And so I include this in my welcome kit when I invite people, when people join my team. And so it's a part of my system. I make like 3 or 4 of these, and then I have them ready so that when, if I don't recruit anybody for months on end, then I'm not like, oh no, where do I start off? And I wrote everything down so that when I go to make it again, I have it all right there. I don't have to reinvent my own wheel. Like, I already know that this works, and that's it. And then I always try to have one of these pre-made at all times so I can remember what I put in there too.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. So this is literally like just full of information. So I'm sure you might want to watch this again and just kind of take your time of little areas that you want to work on. You can come back and you can list, really focus on what you want to start implementing. And so, Melissa, like she said, she's been doing this for a few years now, and she's done a lot of trial and error. And so she's kind of figured out her systems, but she didn't, like her sponsor said, Michelle, she didn't start Scentsy knowing what she was going to do. She had to take time to kind of figure out what worked for her. And I love that you shared that you wrote down what you do, because that is so important, guys. Because we really don't know how to measure what's working if we don't know what we've been doing consistently. If we're just kind of like, here's a join packet, I don't even know what I put in it, and somebody joins and they do really well, you don't know if that is what really helped them. So it's so important to also ask your new consultant, did my welcome packet help you? Or, when, like you were saying, Melissa, that you said something earlier about you don't know if your new people, if it's helped the things you gave them before. That's very important to do, is ask them, say, did that help you make your decision? Was the information kind of help you feel more confident? That you might find out that they didn't even look at it and they just been thinking about it and decided to do it. So it's a way for us to kind of measure what's working, what's not, and, to simplify things. And again, I want to emphasize what Melissa said in the very beginning, is to not reinvent the wheel. Scentsy provides pretty much everything. It's just, if you have a creative side that you want to want to do something that's more you, by all means, it's just not required of you. And because you might get somebody on your team that has no creative skills, and you don't want them to think like, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to be a good consultant or sponsor because I can't make that like you. So verbalize, oh, this is just something that brings me joy, and I do it well, and you don't have to do that. And that's, as a sponsor, you direct them to the tools that the workstation has. And then somebody like me, I'd be all up on the workstation because I'm not creative at all. So I either use what other people have done, or I use the stuff from the workstation. So we've been over 10 minutes. And so there's just so much, but I want to answer. We do have somebody, again, if you have to jump off, go ahead, it's recorded. But thank you guys for the people that are staying on. So we have Miss Karen is going to, I'm going to mute you, and you can go ahead with your comment or question.
I just want to say for Rebecca, when she was talking about trying to get people to recruit and everything, I had someone join me yesterday, never knew she had any interest in Scentsy. I've known her since we were in grade school, high school. And in her first 24 hours, she sold $424. And I had no idea she had any interest. Every couple of days, I just post a little something like, hey, if you're ever interested, in joining Scentsy, let me know. And then that May incentive got her for $20. She signed up yesterday, and within 24 hours, $424.
Awesome.
And I had no clue she was ever even interested in it.
So you were dropping seeds. You were literally like watering your plant and you didn't even realize you were doing it. That's awesome.
I joined March 5th. I have 2 teammates under me already. So one was a neighbor who I become friends with that she joined. And then my girlfriend Jen joined yesterday. Like I said, I had no idea she was ever even interested in Scentsy.
Yeah, your team's doing awesome. You're doing amazing. You sold like a couple thousand last month, didn't you?
Yeah, I think last month I was at like 33.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's awesome.
Right now I have 2 parties close to, I think, 1,500 going in at the end of the week.
That's awesome. Thank you so
I
much.
just keep posting bundle specials. I keep posting all sorts of stuff just to try to, even if I post it twice in the same 2 weeks, I still get hits on it.
That's awesome. So Karen's actually going to go live soon on our page to share a little bit. And then I'm going to let her know that I'm still going to ask her to be a guest speaker later on, but I'm weaning her into this. She told me she's a little nervous. Yeah, about the live. So I said, okay, we'll do the live first, and then you could, we can get you on a call too.
Mm-hmm.
And Rebecca, this woman, she joined on the first. She already has 2 people, her sister and who was the other person? One of your friends? Yeah. So this advice is really helpful for her because she is brand new and has 2 new people. And so one of the things I said, and I'm glad, Melissa, you showed that piece of paper, the biggest mistakes new consultants make is not show up to calls. And so that's why she was like, okay, I got to get my sister on. She needs to be on, and she's on herself. And Karen, thank you so much. I think a lot of us forget that the things or not that we forget, we just don't realize that people are actually watching because we don't get the actual interaction that we think or that we want. And so we think, oh, is this even worth it? But what you just said is perfect example of, yes, they're watching, and you just have to be consistent.
People watch all the time, and I'm not able to do as much as I want. I work at a COVID testing site 6 days a week.
Your heart, I know.
So I'm not able to do it as much as I would like to, but at night when I come home to de-stress, that's what I do.
Yeah, and you don't have a lot of time, and you're in a very stressful time, but you still sold like $3,000 last month. You're incredible, my friend. So you're a great example that if you when there's a will, there's a way. And I'm glad that Scentsy's your happy place, because I know that you're under a lot of stress right now. So like I said, bless your heart for what you're doing.
It's my out. It's what I do when I come home.
Awesome. That makes me so happy. Yeah, that's what we want, is Scentsy to be just a happy place for everybody. And because we all have our challenges, not necessarily as hard as what's going on right now, and you being in the front line of it. But we all have our ups and downs. And so if you can have your Scentsy business be something that puts a smile on your face, and like I said, these calls, did you guys think that you're going to learn about the smile therapy? Probably not, but it's very good information. So you're going to grow on a personal level as well as a professional level by showing up to these calls. So we have, what did I just do? Oh gosh, I don't know what I just did. I have Rebecca, I'm trying. Okay, there we go.
So I have a funny comment to make. So I've gone to therapy before, and the whole smile thing, that was one thing that got introduced to me.
Aww.
But it's so much funnier because if you smile when you're in it, like when you're in a mood and you're like, you know what, I need to get out of this funk. You smile, and then you look at yourself, you realize how stupid you look, and then you just smile for real.
Well, that is great additional advice. So now we all have to make sure we go to the mirror and look at ourselves being silly. I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Rebecca. That's awesome. Okay, anybody else before, so we can let Miss Melissa, and I'm sure all of you have kiddos and dinner to eat and all that fun stuff to get to. So Melissa, do you have anything we want to close it up? Any last thoughts?
I have squirrel brain. I apologize for all the thoughts and just everywhere, and it was messy. And
well, your squirrelness just taught us a lot, so we're so thankful. I know I am. I mean, I have notes here. Like you made little bells go off of me. Like, oh my gosh, yes. Oh, right, yes, I can do. Oh yeah, I haven't done that before. I have never done. So thank you for taking the time to. I mean, everybody knows that like. You took time to write out all those notes. They may not be the organized way that you were planning, but it takes time for you to get all that knowledge that you have of years in to be able to put it out and give it to other people. So thank you for that time that you did put in to prepare for this and being willing to share with us. So,
well,
all right, guys. So don't forget that we're here every Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific, and then translate it into yours. And then also the Saturday calls, you'll get an email from Becca at beccalevi.com. So add that to your email lists, your contacts, so you can get all that information, because that's also a world of worth as well. I think Melissa can agree. We're both on those calls, and Cindy. Next week, or not next week, since Cindy's on, Cindy Washam is going to be our guest speaker on the 18th. She's going to be talking about some leadership skills, which is awesome. She's been in a leadership position for, I think, 23 years. Am I wrong, Cindy? Something like that? Something like that? Okay, so I'm excited to hear from her. And so next week, if I don't find a guest speaker, you might just be hearing from me. So, oh yeah, and you're just getting a bunch of thank yous from everybody, Melissa. So thank you so much. All right, guys, have a great night. If nobody's told you they loved you today, I love you, and I always will. Bye, guys.